This banking system processes over $8 billion a year. This is Victor, a 19-year-old who dropped out of Stanford, built a banking startup during the lockdown, and raised over $60 million, all before his 25th birthday. His company Slash didn't just flip the banking model. It became so valuable, people were paying just to get access. In this episode, Victor breaks down exactly how he did it. The fundraising tactics to raise $60 million, the pivots, the collapse, and the comeback. Watch this all the way through the end, because this just might change how you think about building a product and making profit in your company. All right, guys, so today, we're going to see this company called Slash. Let's go see Victor, the CEO and founder. Let's go figure out how they're doing it and how is Slash going to change the world. What's up, Victor?
What's up, brother?
Ready,
Thanks for coming,
dude. Appreciate you letting me interview you. But dude, first of all, sick sign. Everyone, take a look at this. He's got the 2 American flags behind him.
Slash is made in America, you know, so you got.
I love it. Make America great again.
Country.
Anyways, in 2 sentences, what is Slash?
So Slash is one of the only banking platforms in the US that actually lets you natively send and receive crypto. So you can send a stablecoin payment in the same way that you can send a wire transfer. So you log into your Slash account, and instead of typing in like account number, routing number, amount, and clicking pay, you can just put like wallet address and then basically click send, and then that'll auto convert in the back end from crypto to stable coins, and then send those stable coins to the desired wallet address.
That's a great solution. How do more people not know about, or do a lot of people know about the solution?
Like, we actually are moving a lot of crypto. We're moving like almost like $1 billion in like crypto payments like a year.
That's awesome, dude. That's awesome.
Yeah. Over 2,000 businesses use our corporate credit cards, high cashback 2% corporate credit cards, our treasury account that pays over 4% APY, and our suite of tools that make all your back office accounting tasks much more efficient. Eventually, we want any and all kinds of American business owners to be using Slash as their de facto banking platform.
And I don't want to get too deep into this now, but what are those few verticals you're focused on right now?
Yeah, so right now we're super focused on serving crypto companies. We're focused on serving affiliate marketers, performance marketing agencies, and direct-to-consumer e-commerce brands.
Well, let's get an offers tour, bro.
So I guess this is my quasi office.
Literally got his name right there.
Yeah, there we go. We need to get a better sign. Come on, like raise enough money that we can afford a better sign. Here we just have like a bunch of desks. Mostly are like non-technical people are here. So that's Eric, our compliance officer.
Hey guys.
Eric, what's it like working here?
Initially it's tough. These guys sleep in the office.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're grinding all day.
It's really fast moving, and it's a startup company. It's fantastic.
We have our metrics up. Yeah, so these are just like engineering related metrics right here. This just like tracks kind of like the health and
$10.8 million.
Yeah, so that's how much
does that
has been spent on Slash cards in the last 24 hours. Yeah, that's like $300 a month, you know, like it's a good amount, bro. Like, dude, the 10th largest commercial credit card issuer in the US, I think is this bank called Comerica Bank, and they do like 20 billion a year, and we're doing 3. So
yeah, you are so close. Bam.
Exactly. Dude,
It's gonna come in.
Once we get all the entrepreneurs that watch your channel, bro.
Yeah.
Done. And I just like track like all the priorities, just like a running list of things that we're working on. So these are kind of like all the verticals: crypto cross-border, crypto VC, travel, home services, e-commerce.
And you're head of marketing, right, Osama?
He's just
I'm the only one doing marketing.
Okay, got it. How are you currently like marketing to your customers?
The unique thing about Slash is how much it's grown without a lick of marketing. There's also obviously a little bit of like sort of marketing around like dinners, private events, that type of stuff, but it's mostly referral based, word of mouth, and so on. Now's the time to like think about what scaled ways can we talk to a lot of people at the same time about what we're building. And then also just like, all right, well, how do we start competing on like the organic landscape? How do we start talking about anything that's tangential to what Slash does? So like business building, entrepreneurship, founding companies, and so on.
getting close to guys like you know,
Exactly.
that type of stuff, bro.
All right, bro. So, you know, what I'm really curious about is how did you come up with the idea of Slash?
Yeah, I think it's been a lot of serendipity and luck. So it's 2025 right now. I started working on different ideas with my co-founder Kevin in June of 2020. He's this really smart guy I met at a summer camp, super technical guy.
At this point, Victor's 18 years old. The COVID pandemic hits. He pauses Stanford, flies to LA, and moves in with the best coder he knows. The mission? Just build something real. Their first idea, a reoccurring Venmo for Netflix passwords. Yeah, sounds smart, but no one paid because everyone just used their mom's login. 11 months, zero traction, zero revenue, and it's looking real dark for Victor and Kevin. Then, Somehow they stumble into a Discord full of sneaker resale. Kids that were flipping shoes online, but they all needed virtual cards badly. The product they were using capped their spend, blocked people under 18, and locked cards to one store. And fun fact, Victor actually met the founders of a company that eventually became WAP. Yep, the same WAP I already covered on this channel. Victor listened. He built exactly what they asked for. Within weeks, $50,000 a month in revenue. Y Combinator backed them. Seed round closed. By month 11, they hit $400,000 a month. And they didn't pay people to use it. People were paying them to get in. But just when things took off, the sneaker scene collapsed. Kanye went rogue, and the entire vertical just vanished overnight. Victor had dropped out of Stanford at this point, and his co-founder as well. Everything they built was slipping. But from the ashes of sneaker resale, Victor and his co-founder realized something bigger. Every niche has a different financial need, and Slash wasn't just for sneakerheads anymore. It was about building the bank for everyone.
Dropped out, raised 19 million bucks from other people's money at stake. Right now we only have a 35-person team. So we had like a ton of people that were employing. So we started burning a lot of money.
Yeah.
And so then we were like, all right, what do we have going for us? Like, lost like basically the entire customer base. And we realized the two things that we really had going for us were we have relationships with 7,000 of the most entrepreneurial young people in America. And then the second thing we had going for us is like we had a full-on bank. We aren't a bank. Again, Slash is a financial technology company, not a bank. But we had the infrastructure to offer banking services to our customers. So we went out to our customers and we're like, guys, what can we do to get you to keep using Slash now that you're no longer reselling sneakers and you're doing this other thing? And basically they told us Slash needs to be able to do everything that my traditional bank does. And the second thing is, I need you to offer me rewards. Because at the time, Slash cards were debit cards, and so we weren't giving any rewards. And they're like, dude, now I have like this Amazon business, I have the Shopify business, so your card needs to be competitive from a rewards perspective. And we said, all right, done. And then 2023, we basically went out and we just did those two things. And so we ended 2023 with like 9 million in like ARR.
And so you went from 5 to 1.5,
Yeah.
which sucked.
Yeah.
Dark period, and then it took you about a year, and then you get back to 9.
To 9, exactly.
So you just had these two unique propositions.
Yeah.
Did you have any other unique propositions that makes people want to join Slash? Let's say I'm spending like 50 grand a month. Why would I not want to spend it on my Amex, and why would I want to use Slash?
Yeah, so I think like generally speaking, the three main reasons why the general entrepreneur should want to use Slash. One, best in class rewards. If you're spending enough on card a month, you don't want to accumulate millions of points that you can't use. It's not only the 2% cashback, it's that we also have a treasury account that pays 4% APY. So through Slash, you can invest.
If I just deposit my money in?
But the treasury account lets you invest in a BlackRock money market fund that pays 4.05% per year. Two is we have a super seamless user interface. Our UI doesn't look like it was made in the 90s. And then three, we have value-added features for your industry. So in your case, you can send crypto, you can do all this other stuff. Yeah, there's a lot. So
Slash does a lot.
Go to
Slash is going to be one of the best banks in the world.
Hey, thank you, brother.
Victor's saying.
Not a bank, but yes, one of the best banking platforms.
So here's the question every founder has to ask. If I'm storing hundreds of thousands in a startup bank, is my money even safe? Well, Slash isn't just safe, it's overinsured. They don't hold your funds themselves. They partner with a legit FDIC insured bank like Column and Paramount. And then they sweep your money across 800 banks through a network called InterFi, giving up to $200 million in FDI insurance. $200 million. And most banks only give you up to $250,000 in insurance. So if you have $1 million in a bank and the bank goes under, you're only insured $250,000 and you lose the other $750,000, which sucks. So at Slash, you're taken care of. And if you want to earn yield, aka make money by just leaving money in your bank, they just launched a Slash Treasury, basically putting your idle cash into BlackRock money market funds backed by the US government. It's like if Silicon Valley Bank didn't fumble the bag. But here's the part no one talks about. How do you even raise $60 million for a business like this? And the craziest part is Victor didn't even show up with the pitch deck. He engineered pressure. He scheduled every investor meeting right before the demo day. Turned maybe later into let's wire today. VCs buy energy. They don't care about pitch decks. They care about traction, narrative, confidence. And Victor had all three. And even after all of that, he himself personally still owns 25% of the company. That's what happens when you raise money on your own terms, not theirs. My question is, when you did all this, you got your first round of fundraising, which was $125,000 from YC Combinator.
Yeah.
How hard was it to get into YC? It's like a 1% acceptance rate, right?
Honestly, I'll give you a bit of a black pill. I think YC definitely over-indexes on kids that went to like the elite colleges. Because I went to Stanford and my co-founder went to Waterloo,
Oh, okay.
They're already kind of biased towards accepting us. And then honestly, dude, if anyone here is applying to YC, I would just like consume all the content out there on how to get into YC and hit up people that have gotten into YC and that's it. Like the actual directions are like just high level, like answer the questions directly. Know the facts about your business. There's these qualities that they look for and VCs also look for, which is just like deep expertise around the market that you're serving, ability to ship and move fast. They're looking for people that move fast. They're looking for people that can ship.
But I think that's a good indicator of success is like something that takes action.
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
Honestly, I think if you're watching this channel, it's already a good sign. It's probably, you know, you're very into entrepreneurship, you like this stuff. So just like consume a lot of this like YC specific content and like you'll be good.
So
In total, we've raised $60 million.
$60 million.
Yeah. So January 2020, 125K, we got into YC. And then basically summer of 2020, we raised in total $4 million. The way we were able to raise $4 million as a couple 18-year-olds is we were in YC, which gives us a lot of credibility, and investors typically seek out YC companies. And then we were also very smart about the timing of like when and how we talk to these investors, right? Instead of talking to investors the moment they reached out to us, we scheduled all of our calls with them back to back to back to create this kind of like artificial pressure between all of them.
So my question is for the guys that don't have the YC stamp.
Yeah.
People that are watching here, 99% of them will have the YC stamp, unfortunately.
Yeah.
How can they get $4 million?
Yeah. Honestly, the most important piece of advice is just build a great business. If you have a business that's growing, if you have a great team, a product that people love, you're making money. I think the key is not to try to brute force it. Like when you asked me, was it hard to raise the $4 million? It took a lot of work and that I had to take a lot of meetings and like go through the steps required to raise money from these investors. But it wasn't hard in the sense that like we actually did get a lot of term sheets and we're able to pitch our business and had enough attractive things about our business that made it compelling to investors. So maybe that's like, you build a really big following on social media, and so they're going to be able to believe that you're going to be able to distribute a product, or like have built a lot of products or project in the past to show investors that you actually know how to build stuff.
I have a great product. I got revenue.
Yeah.
How do I get in touch with these guys at the top?
Yeah. Honestly, I think like post about the stuff that you're doing.
So leverage social media.
There's so many cases of like, you know, people getting DMs from investors after they post something like really cool on social media. Try to just like somehow make yourself higher status in like this like entrepreneurship like VC like circle.
If you're trying to raise money, a few key takeaways for you. One, build a business that actually makes revenue.
Yeah.
And if you have a business that's like a long-term play, like 10-year play, you're going to play a little bit of a more of a long-term game of you're going to have to build relationships, build connections, and get intros to the right investors. You can cold email, which is a way lower chance. Intros is probably the best chance, or leverage social media. So one or the other. And outside of that, I'm curious, so then after you raised this $4 million, right? Was it easier to raise more money? So from there, you ended up raising what, another $15 million?
Yep,
correct?
15 and then recently 41, yeah.
Yes.
The hardest one to get is the first one. The hardest it's ever going to be to raise money is before you're high status. Afterwards, it's literally a matter of how well your business is doing, right? Like if your business is doing really well, then you're not gonna have a hard time raising because VCs like putting money into things with good gross margins and good growth rates. It literally has gotten easier every single time. And then in the one that we did just now, which was January of 25,
He raised $40 fucking million.
yeah, it was a 41 million and we
$41 million. That's so crazy.
And we basically, this one was like our business had been ripping, right? Like late last year, it's been ripping. It was harder in that like investors will due diligence your business much harder. It's like, dude, what is your customer concentration? What are your gross margins by product type? What's like the attachment rate? You know, there's like all these metrics, and it was like hours-long calls with many of our customers, like a lot of these VCs.
Really, and as you create more shares and you raise more money, like how can founders protect their ownership?
Only raise money if you need to raise money. You know, like if there's a good reason to. I think like a lot of founders fall into this trap where raising money is sexy. You'll feel cool in front of your friends, but the way you're actually gonna get rich is, you know, if you own a large percent of a large business, right? So if you just keep raising money, you're gonna make 50 million bucks after you have like a multi-billion-dollar business. You might as well just like start a lifestyle business, you know?
Agreed.
100%, dude. What's the point? Like, really think about if you need to raise money, one, and two, raise money when you have the most leverage possible. So what I would say is just like, don't put yourself in a situation where you have to raise money.
Yeah, so you don't have any leverage at that point.
You don't have any leverage.
And nobody's gonna want to put money into something that isn't as sexy and appealing anymore.
The two ways to deleverage yourself are don't need money and get a lot of hype from a lot of funds at the same time.
My favorite thing is the person that has the most leverage is the one that can walk away from the deal.
Exactly.
What's the mistake you've made that you're open to sharing with, building the startup?
And you kind of have to make these if you're a young first-time founder. Like, just hire the wrong people to begin with. When we raised that, $15 million round, and then we're like, all right, let's hire like these execs, but they weren't the right fit for like the stage of business where we were at, where it was just all about like, let's do the work, get your hands extremely dirty and be super low ego instead of like team building and managing. Yeah, the really cool thing, I guess, about being a founder of like a growing company is that your job changes every couple of years, right? Like the very beginning, you're a product market fit finding machine, but then later on, you need to learn how to recruit and how to attract the best talent. You need to learn how to build a brand and an employer brand that the best, most talented people are going to be willing to, join you.
But how have you managed to bring on some of the best talent?
Honestly, you need to treat recruiting the way you treat sales. You need to find good referral channels and you need to be persistent, right? Like the best people have tons of options. It's a lot of brute forcing my way. Brute forcing every single hire that we make. So it's like, I go out there and I tell them like, dude, this is what we're building, why it's so important. And once I know that somebody is like world-class, like I just give it my all to try to sell them the grandiosity of the vision of what we're doing and getting them to join it.
This might be a bit too personal, but I want to ask this question regardless. So you've raised $60 million in total.
Yeah.
A lot of startup founders typically end up paying themselves a fat salary. How do you guys determine what your salaries are as owners?
Dude, I don't pay myself a big salary. I think one of the biggest red flags in a startup founder is if they have a big, cushy salary, bro.
What's a big, cushy salary?
I mean, I'll tell you what, I pay myself $150K, which is like, wow, pretty chill. I have a decent apartment, like, I can go out and eat, but I know that like, the value's in the equity, like, the last thing I want to do is project to investors that like, I'm doing this business because I have a nice, cushy 300K job. Like, dude, I've heard of other startup founders. I heard of one company specifically where like there were 4 founders and all of them were paying themselves 300K and they had raised only like 10 million. And so it was like $1 million of burn just on founder salaries. And like a couple of them got fired. I think the key is like, you need to not be stressed about money so that you're just completely focused on running your business and the money will come in the back end.
And how long until you think you can IPO? Like how many years?
I definitely do want to IPO. Like I think it's a dream of mine. Obviously, there's so many benefits to being a privately held company for longer, but I think just aspirationally, there's something so cool about being one of the companies in the history of the United States to go public. You kind of get cemented in like the canon of American business. I don't know, bro. We just have to continue putting the work in every day. Obviously, not thinking about any of that stuff yet because we're way too early. I don't want to like give a specific timeline or anything because I don't want to come off the wrong way. But like, let's just put in the work that's going to earn us the right to be able to say that we want to IPO.
So there you have it. Victor went from splitting Netflix logins during COVID to raising 60 million, hiring a full team, and building a platform moving billions of dollars every year. And he knows the real wealth comes from owning more of the company than anyone else in the room. This isn't about hype cycle fintech. It's a bank for entrepreneurs. And if he gets it right, Slash might be your bank in the future.